Let's talk a little bit more about the effect the coronavirus is having on people and also on pets. I've seen a lot of people post on social media that their dog or cat is super happy because they're at home because they can't go to work or school. Certainly, we have to be concerned about the health and the mental health of our family pets as well. So let's talk with this a little bit more by bringing in Brian Larsen. You're the CEO of RestoraPet. You are live in Maryland, just outside Washington, D.C. A lot of cats and dogs are living their best life with their owners at home now.
Yeah, I think that there's a tremendous amount of excitement among pets having more companionship, but I think there's also a lot of anxiety that pets are feeling because they can certainly sense the anxiety that we all feel collectively as a society.
And so how do you advise pet owners to mitigate that?
Yeah, so the number one tip that I have is really to practice a routine as much as is humanly possible with your pet. Pets love to have routines, and so if that means a regular schedule of walking, or if that's not possible due to social distancing, a regular schedule for play is going to be extremely important. And really playing with the pet regularly and stimulating them both physically with exercise as well as mentally, dogs or cats, is going to be really, really important.
I've heard from people who are thinking about having to be put under quarantine, and they say, I can't leave my children for 2 weeks, I can't leave my job for 2 weeks, and then someone said, I can't leave my pets for 2 weeks. Should we be making plans for our pets in case we do find ourselves in a dire situation?
Absolutely. I do believe that it's important to have a contingency plan in place, either someone else in the household that is able to take care of the pet if you are unable to do so, or another arrangement with someone in the community that would be able to take care of the pet. Yeah, that is critically important. Planning and having a supply of their medications and having the instructions that are necessary to provide any sort of special care requirements, special diets, medication regimens, having that prepared in advance as part of a contingency plan is very important.
In the early stages of the coronavirus outbreak, we were talking a lot and showing pictures on our newscast of people stocking up, toilet paper and buying paper towels and disinfecting wipes. And then our morning meteorologist said, hey, don't hoard the kitty litter. He said, that's important to me, like toilet paper is to you. He has a couple cats at home. What about those essential supplies, and what are you hearing about the availability of those?
Yeah, so here's what we're seeing on Amazon and on a number of different retailers. They are considering pet supplies to be one of their 6 essential categories, which means that they are receiving shipments of those. They are processing them. So companies like RestoraPet and a number of other pet suppliers are able to ship inventory, and that is getting loaded into Amazon. So I believe a 2 to 4 week supply of the pet supplies is more than sufficient. I don't believe that people need to hoard those supplies.
Okay, and real quick, I know that a lot of people have asked questions of, can I catch coronavirus from my pet? Might I give it to my pet? Do you have clear answers on that?
Yeah, there's a lot of misinformation going around, and this is definitely a concept that's still evolving, but here's what we know. There was a dog about 2 weeks ago in Hong Kong that tested a week positive for COVID-19. That dog did test based on nasal, oral, and rectal swabs over a period of a few days, so several tests, which means that the pet likely had a mild infection, but the pet did not have symptoms for coronavirus. Ultimately, that pet was placed in quarantine, and we found out yesterday that that pet, which was a very elderly Pomeranian, did pass away. We don't know and don't believe that that was related to coronavirus, but I will say that in the SARS outbreak of 2003, there were exceptionally rare cases of human to feline transfer of the SARS outbreak. But to be very, very clear, it's exceedingly rare. So really what this comes down to is the same thing that I'm also a registered nurse, the same thing that I advise a human would be to practice hygiene, hand washing, hand hygiene. Practicing hygiene for the pet means washing their paws before and after you take them out. And the same thing, if you're interacting with the pet, wash your hands, play with your pet, interact with your pet, wash your hands again. Practicing that hygiene is going to be number one.
And finally, Brian, there is no overstating the amount of comfort and joy a person can get from their pets. So if ever there was a time for, an extra session of catch or an extra snuggle on the couch, now is that.
110%. I mean, this is definitely something that the coronavirus, COVID-19 is scary enough. Let's take comfort from our pets and let's comfort our pets. I actually really am encouraging people to even consider fostering a pet. This is a great opportunity to have that interaction, have that comfort. There's really nothing better than the love between a pet and their parent or their family.
Okay. Brian Larsen, is there anything else you'd like our viewers to know?
Yeah, I really think that it's critically important. I can't stress this enough. Like, this is not a time to panic with relation to pets. I know that there's a lot of misinformation out there. People need to realize pets are members of the family, and this is a key and huge opportunity to interact and love with our pets and get so much love from them. People should not be abandoning their pets. People should be enjoying and interacting with them.
All right, Brian Larsen from RestoraPet, thank you so much for joining us today. Good information and advice for all of us. Let's